Hello people of the world, don't know gaming here, and welcome to F1 2020, or should I say welcome back to F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Here we are looking at our facilities, and we have level 1 on chassis because of the way we answered Will Buxton's interview. Same with why we have upgrades on the chassis already. So I thought, because we have chassis facility already upgraded, why not we try and do maybe a build time or something on the aero facility, because we have 2.64 million, so why not just use it on the build time for the aero and just get it over and done with. Now we're here for signing a secondary sponsor, and right away Atlantic jumps out at me with the biggest weekly income. The target is only 75 laps during the race, during a race weekend, and that's just practically half the race. The whole race is half that objective, and with two drivers, if he survive the race, that should be fine. Here we are finishing our first lap of qualifying 1. I thought we'd do an off-board shot just so we can look at the car and how it looks on the track. And that puts us P9. But here we are for a second lap of qualifying 1. That's 7/10 up, and that puts us P6. So really, I shouldn't need to do a third lap of qualifying, but I just thought, just in case they just get dramatically quicker, we did a third lap. Now that wasn't even an improvement, but that means we used up all 3 sets of soft tyres in Q1, so we don't have anything to use in Q2, what means we're just going to be really slow for Q2, and I could only do 1 run. So we end up P13 for qualifying 2.
We're here again then at a circuit famous for its stunning visuals and thrilling battles for glory. Who will take the spotlight in the Bahrain Grand Prix today? Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Now, let's talk about Charles Leclerc. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
So here we are on the grid for Bahrain. We have 5 red lights, and we are away for Bahrain 2020. We got held for quite a long time for 5 red lights there, so that might maybe a bit slow on the reaction, but we do dive down the inside of quite a lot of cars, probably 4 or 6 cars, but we lose out with the traction and going over the curb for turn 1. We are going to try and make a move on Stroll, go around the outside, but we are just blocked off by Norris on the racing line. We lose the rear end a little bit as well. We have to defend from Ocon. Going a bit wide with understeer there because of the dirty air, because I haven't really driven with dirty air so much in this game, because last race we were just on our own in the rain. And that's completely different from being on a dry track in the mid-pack. But we are going to use some overtake, try and catch back up to Stroll. Hopefully get past him like on, well, after this like S section, maybe onto the start finish straight. But we are getting rather close. We get a big amount of understeer there as we try, well, we just brake a little bit lower than we should have done, and we hit his rear wheel. Luckily we didn't take too much damage, or no damage I could see. So here we are trying to get past him on the start finish straight. But we used up all our ERS we could on the first lap, and that just leaves us defenseless with Ocon coming behind us using his ERS. He doesn't try to dive down the inside, but we do go wide, and that makes us try and cut the corner of turn 2, and that just loses the rear end so much. And that's 2 cars by Perez and Ocon. So now we're going to have to look out behind us for Kvyat and Leclerc. Leclerc actually gets past Kvyat into turn 4 now. So we are really going to have our work cut out for us with a Ferrari behind us. As we go into the turn 10 complex, we just have to make sure we don't mess up. It's very easy to lock up the front left like we did there. But we did get a good drive out the corner using our overtake button, getting real close to Ocon, a bit wide through there. But we get back onto the racing line. We need to make sure we avoid that inside curve there, because that, if you hit that, you just go spinning round and round. So here we are, get a good drive, but so does Leclerc, so we need to try and defend against him, but also try and get past Ocon. As we go 3 wide into the the final corner, and we just get ping-ponged in between Leclerc and Ocon, and that just breaks our front wing. So luckily the pit lane is right there, and we have time to dive in and say we need a pit stop. But this is going to waste so much time changing the front wing and being on hard tyres so early on in the race. I doubt we can make it to the end of the race on these hard tyres. So we are going to have to make another pit stop, probably onto soft tyres. It just like, this is, I feel robbed by that. Leclerc shouldn't have gone for the move. It was a stupid move onto the curb, and he just bounced into us. So we're just going to have to push on. Here we are on lap 11, a big jump. But Perez has made a pit stop and he's directly ahead of us, and he's actually getting held up by our teammate. Like, we probably should like pay him a little more if he like can keep doing this, like slowing up the people ahead of us. But then again, he could hold us up if he lets Perez through and not us. And that just, I feel like firing him, that if he does that, like, I might need to find a new like second driver, because like holding up the team owner and first driver of the team is not a good idea. But it wouldn't be a surprise because of how bad this guy is. Like, if you do some research on like his like backstory in like the junior formulas, like, I really regret signing him, and he has let Perez through and he held us up. So we're going to try and maybe dive down the inside in turn 4, but just too far back. So we're going to have to stay behind him for the rest of the lap. Here we are on the next lap. Simple DRS overtake down the line. And here we are on lap 13 now. Our teammate has actually retired. So that's not good if we want to try and get that bonus for the sponsor. Now we're on lap 15 now, 2 laps later than when we were earlier, and Kvyat and Ocon have made their pit stops and now are wearing down behind us with their fresh hard tyres. Ours already on like 48 and 44, what is not good at all, as Kvyat just barges down the inside and we just don't have any grip or any traction to like try and fight him off. And here comes Ocon. Now he's a bit like further behind, but he is coming. Like 1.3 seconds is nothing when you're on old rubber and getting held up with dirty air in front of you. Come through turn 8, we go a bit wide than I would normally go and lose the rear end a little bit. There's just no traction, especially through here. We only just get the car turned in. A bit of oversteer, as you can see, with the correction of the wheel there. Jumping to lap 18 now. Ocon is still behind us, but Bottas, they came out of the pits and gave us DRS to help defend from Ocon behind, but I doubt we can defend that much here, because we don't have much ERS and we don't have DRS at all. And there just goes Ocon for P7. Like, we still need to make another pit stop, so we're not going to be anywhere near the point when we come out of the pits, which we are going to come into the pits at the end of this lap now. Jumping to the end of lap 19, we're going to have to try and get into the pits while like defending from Ricardo. Like, hopefully this was a good enough lap to like not lose too many spaces. But we are going to drop down to probably like P19, P18. Looks like the McLaren team just serviced one of the McLarens. Carlos Sainz, I think that was though. We get a bit of a slow getaway, probably slow me getting off the clutch, but that's just me being rusty at the new game. And we come up just behind Magnussen, so we are in P20, one space lower than I was expecting, but we can easily catch up to Magnussen and Russell because they're getting held up by each other and they're on rather old hard tyres. So this should be a good race for us, like for the end of the race. They're just getting held up so much here. Like Magnussen trying to like push Russell out, but he's still there. So we're gonna actually get held up a little bit here. So we're gonna have to lock up a little bit. That wasn't intentional, but get DRS, ERS, amazing traction, and just go to the left side of Russell. Maybe dive down the inside of Magnussen. No, we don't. Like, that gap was just closing and closing, and there just wasn't any more room there. If we tried it, we would have looked like an idiot, just smashing into the rear end of Magnussen there. Here we are going down the inside, not even the inside, we're done before the corner even starts. Now we need to go try and catch up to Grosjean and Perez. As we do the fastest lap at the same time. Jumping onto like halfway through lap 21 now, we just on the back side of like Grosjean. Like, we caught up to him like in like half a lap after passing Magnussen. So that just shows how good the soft tyres are compared to the hards, especially when they're worn hard tyres. As we are trying to catch up to Perez and Giovinazzi ahead, but I'm not sure if Giovinazzi needs to make a pit stop yet. I don't think he does. I think he's already made it actually. But Perez is probably getting held up quite a lot by him. Like, we set the fastest lap again on lap 21. Now on lap 22 we caught up to like Perez just in like one lap. We're already on the rear wing going. We might go for a double overtake with the DRS overtake button rich mix, and here we are on the off-board shot, diving down the inside. That's what I call a dive bomb. And we get stopped just in time, and we actually start trying to pull away from Perez now. But it's going to be really hard with the Mercedes engine in the back of that racing point. That Mercedes engine is one of the strongest engines, but apparently Ferrari is better. Well, they're gonna have to tweak with the real life Ferrari engine actually being probably one of the worst engines on the grid. As we come through turn 10 now, we go a bit wide looking up that front left again as we get a little tap from Perez, what makes him have to back out, and luckily we didn't get any like rear puncture there. I think we're just like wheel to wheel content, not front wing to wheel, because he seems to be pretty fine after it. Again, staying just away from that inside curb through that turn. If I touch that, it's just game over. Especially when we put so much work into trying to catch up to the car's head after being taken out by Leclerc. I'm still angry about that. But we're here trying to catch up to Gasly ahead. I think Norris will be way too far ahead, and the tyres are just slowly wearing away now as we go a bit deep into turn 1. And there's just not enough time to catch up to Norris either. I think we're just catching up quite a lot now. 2.1 seconds, 2 seconds. Constantly changing as we go through the lap. But coming through this S section, we actually lose time, but we're going to gain it back through this braking zone. And hopefully a lot more in turn 10 because of just how much grip we have compared to him. We do a slight lock up, go on to the outside curb, but we get decent drive using, we're actually not using any rich mix because we actually are negative on fuel by 0.01 lap. So that's not that much, but it's still not enough to put in rich mix. But we are catching up through that final sector, actually only 1.5 seconds ahead. Wait, actually only just above 1 second as we go through the final corner. The AI does not seem to be that fast through the final corner. Jeff thinks we're gonna pit this lap, but we're gonna stay out on the soft tyres until the end of the race. There's no point pitting with like 3-4 laps left.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 5/10.
We're actually in DRS now of Gasly, so we're gonna close that gap very quickly. Coming to turn 4, we get real close to him, but like that's just in the braking zone. It's going to be a whole new game trying to pass him as we actually go a bit wide through that S section. But we are doing rather well, keeping up with him. Hopefully we can try something going like on the exit of turn 10. Go a bit wide, so let's compromises our traction a little bit, but we still get DRS. And we're using our overtake button just to get that little bit closer. We're only half a second behind now, lose rear end a little bit getting on the curb. That curb you can kind of get on, but the one after on the inside is just death trap. But I'm repeating myself quite a lot now.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
Yeah, the tyres were wearing off quite a bit, as Jeff just said. But we are going to try and dive down the inside maybe, or maybe around the outside if he defends a bit too much. We're going to try a nice dive from here. No, we're not actually, because he's too good on his brakes. I thought he was going to brake a lot earlier on his old hard tyres, but we just didn't have the room. And he pulls away a bit through that little straight there, but we close up in the braking zone. And we're going to close up quite a bit through this S section now. Hopefully maybe getting past him after turn 10, but we might have to wait till start finish straight again. Maybe go around the outside if he defends a bit too much. Coming through turn 10 now. You get a good drive, a little bit of oversteer, just like trying to keep in his like slipstream. You give a little look down the inside, but then just too far back. So we're gonna try and keep it in slipstream, even though it's just so much dirty air through this like S section. So we're gonna just keep it behind, get as close as we can for the final corner, and use DRS and the overtake button to get past him on the start finish. So here we are on start finish using DRS now, overtake as we go, try and take a look down the inside, but he covers us up. So we're gonna go round the outside now. Braking very late, but so does he, so he just gets the inside line and we just don't have the traction to push round. So he stays ahead of us for another lap, jumping on to the end of that lap now. Going to try again down the start finish, but Perez is just behind us. We have no idea how he's been able to keep up with us. We might try and get an overtake on Kvyat, well Gasly actually, sorry, as we dive down the inside now, almost hitting him, pushing a bit wide, and that just compromises him too much, and Perez gets past him. But really is not a good sign because of how fast that car is in a straight line.
Final lap of the race.
Pardon me. As we go through the start finish for the final time, like on lap 29 now, that he gets really close but not close enough. He might try into turn 4. Turn 4 is a rather favourable overtaking spot. I just never caught up to anyone in that place. But he doesn't try and cheeky dive bomb. So he's just going to lose time through this section with all the dirty air. But he gets really close through turn 8 now. As we're going down to the turn 10, turn 9 complex. Hopefully not going to mess it up and lock up that front left. We actually get it pretty perfect, hitting the apex and moving over to the left side of the track. They break the slipstream. Lewis Hamilton gets the checkered flag first, but surprisingly Sebastian Vettel gets the extra point for the fastest lap. And because Perez didn't try anything after that DRS zone, he just falls away. His tyres must have really dropped off there. And the dirty air must be terrible through that sector. But here we are using overtake button, and here we are P14 for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
I'm still thinking, could we get points if we didn't get taken out by Charles Leclerc? Somehow getting driver of the day as well for taking me out. I'm not holding any grudges, but I think he should have got a bit of a penalty there. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you keep up watching every episode. Should be coming out every day or every other day. But thank you guys, and see you in the next video.